We are bringing in a lot of different voices and perspectives over the course of the Chauvin trial to dig into the issues that are surrounding it.
Today, we'd like to welcome former San Diego and Chula Vista Police Chief David Bejarano. Chief, thank you so much for joining us. You know,
Chief and Marcelo, thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Officer after officer after officer, expert after expert after expert are talking about the training on use of force and the proper amount of use of force. And this really impacts the entire nation as far as the policies are concerned.
Without a doubt, policy, training, from the time you start the academy as you continue on, training is ongoing, especially in the area of use of force. And regardless if you're in Minneapolis, San Diego County, any use of force training teaches every officer, and it hasn't changed over many, many years. Once an individual is handcuffed, under control, the resistance stops, excessive force can't continue. You have to reduce force, and there's no need for force once an individual is handcuffed and under control. That's training that is known nationwide.
Chief, I know this happened thousands of miles away, but if you're an officer on the streets here in San Diego, as a former chief, will those officers be hearing things from the public about what happened? And how, as a chief, do you talk to your officers to say, hey, you guys weren't involved with this, happened 1,000 miles away, but you're an officer, they see what happened, and so you have to change what you're doing?
And that's something that every chief, and I was the chief in San Diego and Chula Vista, you look at national incidents, you're always trying to enhance your training. You're always trying to provide a safer environment between police and community contacts. So you reinforce the training. If there's something that is learned, you immediately go to your use of force experts. You start that training. You provide accurate information to the police officers to ensure that they're comfortable, that they have all the training necessary, all the tools to make sure that they stay safe and members of our community stay safe. So we're always learning and always looking at incidents nationwide.
Derek Chauvin's defense attorneys on cross-examination, they are trying to get the experts to say that this amount of force was necessary because of things like the crowd gathering and other extenuating circumstances. How do you think the prosecution and the defense have done presenting both sides?
Well, I believe the prosecution has done an excellent job. They brought expert after expert, from the supervising sergeant to lieutenant commander. Every layer of supervision involved in use of force training has been very consistent. And anyone who sees that, any law enforcement professional, police officer that is properly trained, that was excessive force. That was unlawful force that was used. Again, the key is once an individual is handcuffed, under control, then you reduce the use of force, if not stop using force altogether. And every officer is taught crisis intervention, medical aid. That Mr. Floyd was in distress. Aid should have been provided immediately. And again, force should have stopped immediately at that point. That's taught nationwide, here and in Minneapolis. And we've heard that throughout the trial.
All right, retired Chief David Bejarano, thanks so much for your insight, and I'm sure we'll be checking back in with you more as this trial progresses. Have a great day.